Hi everyone, this is Kaiju Studios G2K, and welcome back to the channel. The Jurassic Park / Jurassic World franchise has been enduring for nearly 30 years, first beginning with the 1990 novel by Michael Crichton and its 1993 film adaptation by Steven Spielberg. The novel would go on to become a bestseller and one of Crichton's finest works, while the film would go on to become a mega blockbuster, grossing nearly $1 billion worldwide, and becoming one of the most iconic films in cinematic history. Together, it would launch a multimedia franchise comprised of sequels, books, video games, animated series, comic books, theme park rides, and many toy lines, all centered around mankind's disastrous attempts in resurrecting extinct dinosaurs with bioengineering technology for the sake of creating a zoological theme park on a tropical island. With the release of Jurassic World Dominion, the third and final film of the Jurassic World trilogy and the sixth film of the franchise overall, nearing its release date, I figured it's time to look back at the 5 films that have been released in this franchise and rank them from worst to best. Now, before I rank these films from worst to best, it's important for me to clarify that this is simply my personal ranking of the Jurassic Park franchise, and these are my subjective opinions that have or could change over time. I would like to see how you guys would rank each of the Jurassic Park movies in the comments below, and if you disagree with anything I have to say, please do so in a respectful manner. With that out of the way, here's my ranking of the Jurassic Park / Jurassic World movies from worst to best before Jurassic World Dominion hits cinemas. Starting at number 5 is, in my opinion, the worst film in the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World franchise, that being Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The sequel to 2015's Jurassic World promised a bigger and better sequel that would take the franchise into new and uncharted territory, as well as introducing new dinosaurs, continuing the story and developing the characters of the previous film, and on top of that, being an action-packed blockbuster that would deliver on the thrills. Unfortunately, this movie falls flat on so many levels. First of all, it's basically 2 different movies crammed into a 2-hour and 10-minute film, with the first half feeling like an action-adventure flick that retreads the Lost World, while the other half feels like a claustrophobic horror film set in a mansion. That tonal shift just feels weird and doesn't quite capture that Jurassic Park feeling. The other issues that drags this film down are the cheesy writing, the dumb character decisions, the plot holes, the generic money-hungry villains with nonsensical motivations, the whole subplot of Maisie being a human clone that doesn't feel like it's part of a Jurassic Park movie, the unfunny attempts at humor, and the characters lacking depth or growth. The film isn't without its redeeming qualities. The directing by J.A. Bayona, the cinematography, the blend of CGI with practical effects is much better than that of Jurassic World's. I really like the gothic horror elements present during the Lockwood Mansion in the second half of the film. Some of the set pieces are very exciting, such as the volcanic eruption, the new species of dinosaurs is a welcome addition, the Indoraptor is a good monster despite the limited screen time, the performances from the actors is fine, Michael Giacchino's score is pretty good, and the film does a good job setting up the premise for the next film. The good elements in this film isn't enough to save it from all its missteps, the biggest ones being the storytelling, its lack of originality, the lackluster characters, failing to recapture the feeling of a Jurassic Park movie, and just overall not being a very good film, which makes it my least favorite sequel and the worst movie of the Jurassic Park franchise by far. Coming in at number 4 is arguably the most controversial entry in the franchise, that being Jurassic Park 3. While often regarded as the worst Jurassic Park movie, as well as being the lowest rated and lowest grossing film in the franchise, despite it being a commercial success, I actually find Jurassic Park 3 very entertaining to watch, but at the same time can fully acknowledge the film's faults. It is well documented that Jurassic Park 3 had a troubled production. Filming started before the script was complete, as the script went through many revisions in the pre-production and filming stages. It's worth noting that Jurassic Park 3 is the first film in the franchise to not be based on a novel, the first film to not be directed by Steven Spielberg, and the first film to really have no central premise or sense of direction in the storytelling. I can list many of the problems that plague this film, from the annoying characters like Amanda Kirby and Paul Kirby constantly yelling their son's name in an island filled with dinosaurs, the controversial T-Rex vs. dinosaur fight that's been talked to death over the last 20 years, the weird raptor dream that Dr. Grant experienced in the plane, at times the CGI and animatronic effects feel rushed and unconvincing, and let's not forget the weird decision to retcon the relationship between Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler. The movie has one big issue above all the others. It lacks a sense of direction and a central premise or theme to continue the story. The first film was about the wonder and danger of scientific curiosity. The second film was about taking responsibility for those actions, shown in both good and bad ways. This movie really has no central theme or story to explore, which makes it feel empty and directionless. Despite that, I still don't think Jurassic Park 3 is that bad, and I do find it entertaining to watch. The set pieces like the plane attack, the aviary, and boat scenes are really good. The Spinosaurus is a really cool new dinosaur and a great, albeit controversial addition to the franchise. Sam Neill returning as Alan Grant was great to see. I also really like Eric Kirby's character. The new music by Don Davis and John Williams was good, and it moves at a brisk pace thanks to its shorter runtime. Not to mention it still captures the feeling of Jurassic Park with a new atmosphere. So Jurassic Park 3 isn't the total abomination that people make it out to be. Though its non-existing storytelling, the behind-the-scenes problems, and weak characterization does really drag the film to mediocrity, and it could have been much better if it had a clear vision or direction from the very beginning. Coming in at number 3 is the long-awaited sequel, 14 years in the making, that being Jurassic World 2015. Now, this is an interesting one, because watching this film back in the theaters on June 18th, 2015 with my brother, uncle, and dad after graduating from middle school on the very same day was an experience that I'll never forget. It was incredibly awesome to see a Jurassic Park movie for the first time in the theater after having to wait over 5 years of all the internet rumors, online speculation, and discussion regarding Jurassic Park 4 back in 2009 and 2010. However, in the 7 years since the film's release, my opinions have changed a lot, and looking back, I have a lot of praises and criticisms to say about this movie. On the one hand, Jurassic World is a textbook example of a modern movie trying to use the name recognition and nostalgia of a classic film without the well-defined and likable characters. Its overuse of CGI effects that are at times very obvious in the film. The overabundance of product placement in this movie can get a little obnoxious. The filmmaking, cinematography, writing, and directing feels amateurish, and it's basically the original Jurassic Park with a modern coat of paint. On the other hand, for all the issues it has, I still like the film, and I can forgive it thanks to its high entertainment value, as well as its use of nostalgia, product placement, and all too familiar story in a metafictional way that surprisingly makes it smarter than it's often given credit for. For starters, we finally get to see John Hammond's dream of a fully functioning dinosaur theme park realized. And while it has a lot of product placement in it, it's still very well integrated into the design of the park, which helps it feel like a real place. The Indominus Rex, the genetically modified hybrid dinosaur antagonist, is an effective monster that's brutal, malicious, intelligent, and even tragic. The characters are thinly written, however, the actors behind these roles from Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Ifran Khan, may he rest in peace, Vincent D'Onofrio, Nick Robertson, Ty Simpkins, and BD Wong were all great to see, and do deliver good performances. The film is all around entertaining and fun to watch, with plenty of dinosaur action, especially that final battle between the Indominus Rex, Rexy, the Raptors, and the Mosasaurus. Surprisingly, Michael Giacchino's score is quite good, though not as iconic. Overall, Jurassic World is a guilty pleasure for me. It has enough good and bad elements that is forgiven by its entertainment value. It's one of the better soft reboots of a franchise that manages to pay respect to the original film while being its own thing, but at the same time, isn't without its criticisms, so I wouldn't say it's great. Our runner-up at number 2 is The Lost World Jurassic Park. The sequel to Jurassic Park, based on the 1995 Michael Crichton novel, is not only a solid, entertaining dino flick, it is the best sequel of the franchise and greatly underappreciated. I've already made a video where I list 5 reasons why I think The Lost World is the best Jurassic Park sequel. You can check it out for more detail if you want to, after you finish watching this video. The Lost World brings in a different island with dinosaurs both familiar and new, running amok with the stranded human characters attempting to make it out alive. It still treats the dinosaurs in a more animalistic light that is consistent with the first film, while providing enough dino mayhem both on the island and in the city, without devolving into a generic monster movie. The blend of CGI and practical effects is once again incredibly well done, and at times is better than that of the first film, thanks to a bigger budget. Given the return of Spielberg as the director, there is no shortage of memorable and iconic moments that'll put you at the edge of your seat, combining elements of horror, suspense, action, and adventure, and excellent directing and filmmaking being the cherry on top of the cake. I also forgot to mention, I really enjoyed the new theme by John Williams. It's distinct, it captures the wilder setting of Isla Sorna, and it gives the film a unique atmosphere. The film even takes itself more seriously and does get pretty dark at times. Out of all the sequels, The Lost World Jurassic Park comes the closest to being a genuine sequel to Jurassic Park, by trying to continue the story, the ideas, and the themes that were present in the first film. The film, however, is not without its many faults, such as the stupidity of the characters despite good performances from the actors, repeating certain plot beats from the original Jurassic Park, some cringeworthy moments, and let's not forget the head-scratching plot holes that are present in some parts of the movie. Even with its faults, The Lost World Jurassic Park succeeds as both an entertaining dinosaur movie and a good attempt at a sequel to the original Jurassic Park, though it's still not a great sequel, but it wasn't for lack of trying. And coming in at number 1 is Jurassic Park. Without question, the original 1993 film remains not only a great movie about dinosaurs, it is the best film in the entire Jurassic Park or Jurassic World franchise, one of the best dinosaur movies and one of the best films in cinematic history. There are many things that just work in this movie, from Steven Spielberg's directing, John Williams' iconic score, the writing by both David Koepp and Michael Crichton, its cinematography, sound design, editing, and the incredible seamless blend of CGI and animatronic effects created by Stan Winston. It is simply unmatched from a filmmaking and storytelling perspective. The film has an excellent cast comprised not of superstar actors, but of character actors, who fit their roles perfectly, from Sam Neill as Dr. Alan Grant, Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm, Laura Dern as Dr. Ellie Sattler, Richard Attenborough as John Hammond, may he rest in peace. Really, all the actors deliver great performances, and each of their characters are well-defined, distinct, and serve their respective roles in the story. What really separates the first Jurassic Park movie from its sequels and 90% of dinosaur movies is its sense of wonder, mixed with a sense of danger. The dinosaurs are treated not as generic movie monsters, but as real animals that have been brought back from the dead with the use of DNA cloning. They bring with them a presence that is both awe-inspiring and terrifyingly epic, while still being animals that felt very lifelike, and were given a sense of scientific accuracy, at least for its time, that forever changed our perception of dinosaurs in both fictional media and in paleontology. To top it all off, the CGI and practical effects still hold up after almost 30 years. Not only that, it would also revolutionize the film industry and ushering in a new age of blockbuster cinema. The film is by no means perfect, it does have its faults, but the film remains an iconic piece of cinema that is both entertaining and expertly crafted as a movie. It is the quintessential dinosaur movie, and it's very possible it'll never be repeated again. Now that I've went over how I would rank the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World franchise from worst to best, I'll quickly recap everything I've said and give each movie a score of 1 to 100. As mentioned before, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is my least favorite entry and the worst movie in the franchise. Although the visuals and set pieces were great, the film is bombastic, cynical, really boring at times, uncreative, and lacks a substantial plot and characters that would have kept me engaged. I would rate it a score of 42 out of 100. Jurassic Park 3 gets way too much hate. It's enjoyable enough, it does have plenty of running away from dinosaur action and thrills. Unfortunately, its non-existent narrative, its behind-the-scenes production issues, and weak characterization is what drags it down as a film. I would give it a 48 out of 100. Jurassic World is a guilty pleasure for me. Sure, it doesn't surpass the original film, but its entertainment value and the use of the premise that allows it to explore some metafictional ideas of the franchise's history was pretty clever. Not to mention my first time watching this film in the theaters was simply an experience I won't forget, though I still acknowledge the film's flaws. It gets a score of 64 out of 100. The Lost World Jurassic Park is a solid film, and a good sequel to the first film that delivers on the dino thrills, while still providing enough from a storytelling level that feels like a genuine continuation, although its shortcomings does prevent it from being a truly great sequel. It gets a rating of 70 out of 100. Finally, the original Jurassic Park remains not only as the best film in the franchise, it is a fantastic movie that mixes wonder and danger, with timeless special effects that brings the dinosaurs to life in a way never before seen. While not flawless, its storytelling, filmmaking, cast of characters, and iconic theme makes it a timeless cinema classic. It gets a score of 93 out of 100. This concludes the ranking and summary of all 5 currently released films in the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World franchise, and here's the scoreboard with each movie's respective rating, from best to worst. As the video draws to a close, here's a few things that I want you to know. This is the final video for the month of May, and the final video I'll upload to YouTube until I return from El Salvador. As I'm writing the script, today is the 27th of May. Me and my family are heading off to El Salvador on the 29th to spend a 2-week vacation over there, which means we won't be back until the 13th of June. This means I won't have time to see Jurassic World Dominion on opening day, so maybe on the week after we come back. This is something I wanted to let you guys know if you're watching this video, so thank you for watching my ranking of the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World franchise and for listening to this announcement. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, comment down below your thoughts on how would you rank the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World films, and what is your favorite film in the franchise. If you want, you can subscribe to the channel to become notified of future uploads, as it'll help my channel grow. And as always, life finds a way, and I'll see you in the next video.